So, what I want to talk about in this video about why it's better to marry a Filipina or a foreigner and they stay there than to take them to America, okay? So I live in Puerto Rico, okay? So there was this Filipino who moved to Puerto Rico to marry a Puerto Rican, right? And then 2 years later, that person confessed that they were just using him just for the papers. So he was like probably about 25, 30 years older. But the thing about it is, that's the thing when you marry a foreigner and you take them to America, they're going to realize that, you're not you're not like the high value in the country because you have all that money. Yeah, but when they come, like, what I'm trying to say is, I talked to this other Filipina, and she said that, she married this white man because, he's American, and she thought he had money. And then when she came to America, she saw that his house wasn't big, and she saw that he didn't have money. And so she said that she's stuck, you know? So, like, it's not that, because there's a lot of stories about some married, couples are happy, but the deep kind of, how to say it, the the thing that they don't want to confess, because I talk to these Filipino ladies, you know what I mean, and I'm not speaking for all of them, just about a handful of them, is that they're not happy, but they just feel like they have no choice, they have no option, so they're just stuck and they're settling, and once they have a kid, and then now they have no choice but to have that man to be the provider, to be there for the kids. But like, I've met probably about 4 or 5 Filipinos that by the time they turn in their 40s, early 40s, I guess that's when they're in heat, they cheat on their husbands, because the older guys that they marry, they're like in their 60s and they can't perform well in bed. And so what ends up happening is that, they meet a younger guy or a more fit guy and they have like affairs. It's pretty sad. But I think what Andrew Tate said is, like, if you want to marry someone, find someone in a third world country, and then she stays there, so that way if she wants to leave you, she can leave you, but she won't have access to your your assets, and because you're in America. So just sharing my thoughts, that's all. Just another video